Hello, and welcome to our podcast, the beach episode, what we like to call an entertainment trash cast. I'm your host, Dan, and with me is your co host, Kristen. Kristen, say hi.
Hey y'all.
So this trash cast is really just a conversation about everyday topics. So, video games, depression, college life, X, Y, and Z things. And we're just aiming to have a nice conversation and a good time, and hopefully create something that will keep you company throughout the day. And I think we're just gonna dive right in.
Sounds like a plan.
What should we talk about?
Life. Contemplate my entire existence. Debate why I decided to go to grad school.
Understandable.
Trap.
Why did you decide to do that, Kristen?
Because I want a job.
Yeah,
I don't know. I take that back. I want
I don't want
money.
a job. I
I
do.
want
I do want money.
money. I
I
had this
don't want a job.
conversation with my mother, who, is the lovely person she is.
I would like
And she's
to.
like, well, what's your dream job? And I'm like, my dream job is to be so loaded I don't need a job. And she's like, wow, you're a lazy sack of garbage. Like, thanks, Ma.
We do verifiably know that your mother is a terrible person. Confirmed. 10 out of 10. Karen, not worth it.
Ooh,
I don't know your
yeah,
mom's name, so
it's
she is a
just.
Karen
Oh, yeah. I've seen her go full Karen.
though.
One time it was at the poor, like,
Uh-huh.
receptionist at the dentist office.
Oh,
And,
that's
well, I
that's
was
not
like,
wholesome.
oh no, it was very uncomfortable. And, she was like, what do you mean they charge for this? She doesn't have gingivitis. I'm like, yeah, I do, man. They just tore my gums to, like, all get out. Like, they tore up shit. Let's just go. And, then she yelled at me because I embarrassed her because I said, it's okay, we can just go. I was the one embarrassing her. And then I cried in
What?
the car right the whole way home.
How does that even work? You embarrassed her because your gums were bleeding?
How did
Question
I
mark.
embarrass her? Because they said, Mom, it's okay. Like, it's fine.
Hi, mom. Stop it! You're embarrassing me in front of all my girlfriends. Okay, mom.
Okay,
Whatever.
Mom.
Whatever,
Yeah.
mom. But speaking of dentistry,
Oh, God.
I recently acquired both a water pick and an electric toothbrush.
Ooh. How do you
I
feel
am,
about the water pick?
I like it. I find that I don't use it as often as I should, but I guess it's a step up from nothing, you know? So that's
True.
that's something. I'm a responsible adult.
Being a responsible adult is so overrated.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sucks.
It really does. I don't
It's the
know
big
why.
poo poo.
Jesus Christ. That it is.
So let's talk about Kristen's favorite games.
Man.
What is your favorite game that isn't Mass Effect? Is it
All
Three
games are
Houses?
Mass. Any game that's not Mass Effect is irrelevant.
I see. But if you had to choose a second favorite game,
No. Um,
what would it be?
this is where I'm torn. I don't know beyond one, which is the entire Mass Effect series. I don't
Yeah.
know if I can like definitively like rank.
Other games?
Yeah, like they're all
Okay.
good, but I don't know if I could be like your number two or your number seven, you know?
Well, how about this? How about just a
Okay.
game that you enjoy and would play again?
Free Houses. I have played that game like 4 times through, and I don't do all the stories because I don't want to do the Black Eagles route because I just don't. It's too much killing.
For the listeners out there, Three Houses refers to Fire Emblem Three Houses, released in the year of when was it released?
19-ish?
Released in the year of our Lord, released in the year of our Lord 2019. Um,
The past year and change has just been a blur, so I have no
yeah,
concept of actual time.
Time is
Not a
impermanent
clue.
and a social construct. But
True.
outside of philosophical ramblings, what about Three Houses is so
It's
good?
just everything, obviously. For the voice cast is pretty great. Like stellar.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
appreciate
well acted. Well, it's like I mean, well, I'm not sure. I guess I'm not sure if I have a fully formed opinion. I think some of it is a little ham-fisted. I don't think that's a
that's
bad
fair.
thing though, because like hammy voice acting is what we love.
That's a
But
very fair.
who's
I'll give you that.
the little time goddess who's like "Bah, bah, 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 bah."
Ah, so this.
Yeah, so Sothis is annoying. Um,
Okay, I could also very fair. I could give you that.
but other than Sothis, I enjoy all of the voice acting performances, ham and all.
Hmm.
Who's the Blue Lions King guy?
Dimitri. Oh
Like,
God. Yes.
I love when
Absolutely.
Dimitri goes from like regular person to like bloodthirsty killer. I always think it's really funny because the guy's just really like kill him. And it's just like, oh, okay, oh, cool, haha.
You need to finish the rest of the goddamn arc, Dan. But
I do. But what is
so
this
good.
Black Eagles? Is that the Red House, Black
Yeah,
Eagles?
with Edelgard.
Interesting, interesting.
If I had
So
to like venture a guess, I'd say most people, because this is just me like speculating. I'm assuming most people playing this game are dudes, and
maybe
she's.
I don't know. I don't have that
I don't
information.
know. I don't actually know. That's a good question. But before they added the DLC, she was the only lord you could bang. So if you were
Oh
playing as
boy,
the male Byleth,
I see. Interesting. I assume that Edelgard definitely received some love then. That's for sure.
I mean, also just a good character. You may not agree with her and her,
I may not
ideology.
agree with her and her neo-fascist imperialist ways, but she's a great character. Just
It is
really
a good character.
well written
You
and
could be a
enjoyable.
terrible person and a good character.
That is true. How about that? Let's switch gears a little bit. Who is
Yeah.
your most famous?
Ooh.
No, sorry. Who is your
Oh
favorite
man.
villain?
Favorite villain?
Yes, there.
Oh, I
This
don't know
video
if I
game. Your
have one.
favorite video game villain?
Hmm. I don't know. I haven't really given it that much thought, if I'm being totally honest.
Well, what sticks out to you? We've talked about Mass Effect and Three Houses,
I could
and
just sit here and talk about Mass Effect for 70
Saren. Who
years.
is the guy in Mass Effect One? Saren.
Saren. Oh my gosh, Dan, Saren, come on.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Whenever I say
Saren,
his
Saren is
name,
a very okay.
I would say he is one of my favorite video game villains
Oh yeah.
because the first time you play Mass Effect, you're probably going to be really gung ho about it. But the more you replay it and the more you're like willing to have conversations with people, like the more sense Saren start. Not that he's right or that you ever really think he's right, but he's kind of like how do I explain this? He's kind of just like an imperfect reflection of Shepard. Like, if Shepard didn't have any friends and had no support network and, was Turian, like, they could definitely
Mystery.
come to, well, they could definitely come to the conclusion, like, we can't win, right?
Yeah.
And that's Saren's whole thing. And then, you can get him to do the big game end if you talk to him well, which, I don't know, it just feels like a good character arc and
Hmm.
he's menacing and a little mysterious, but he's kind of relatable too.
Yeah, the best villains are kind of relatable. Like you don't always agree, but you get it.
Yeah, I don't think every good villain has to be relatable, but Saren is definitely one that is.
Mhm.
Like
True that, man.
Harbinger is not really, or Harbinger's okay. Sovereign's not relatable, really,
No.
but
Mm-mm.
he's still also a good villain.
Yeah.
It's like haha, puny insects. It can also be a fun like
Yeah.
just BBEG, but beg,
Oh,
beg.
hold on. What?
What?
Is this some acronym I should know?
BBEG. For
Oh God.
Kristen and also our listeners out there, is Big Bad Evil Guy. A term used to denote the final boss or others similarly
Um,
difficult villainous character you have to fight.
I am unindoctrinated.
Ha
I see.
ha
I didn't
ha
mean to
ha.
do that.
Mass Effect jokes, everybody.
Oh God, no. Again, I did. Maybe I just don't spend as much time on the internet as you or my brother, but
We spend a lot of time on the
yes, you do. That's like half his job, though. I gotta give him that. I actually have to talk to like
internet. And
human
I'm just
people.
depressed, is my
Jesus
excuse.
Christ, I'm being safe. But yeah, I don't know
That's
why I decided
it's
to
my culture. It's my culture, Kristen.
don't work with people. The more I work with people, the more I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yes. Yes,
That just kind of sums it up.
people are villains.
People say the wildest things, and you're just
That's
like,
like the subplot of Castlevania, by the way, is that Dracula just thinks people are villains and that he's not a villain.
not entirely wrong, Dracula.
Both
Not
both of
entirely
the
wrong.
show and like the games. Whenever you talk to him, he's always super depressed and is like, what is a man? And you're like, I don't know, man. You should have stopped you killing people.
Yeah.
So I don't know who Three Houses villain is.
It depends on the route,
I see, I see.
which is why you need to play Blue Lions, and then
I do. I
you
need to
need to
finish
finish Blue Lions, and then you need to go back and play Golden Deer. Because the first time I played through, I finished
Yeah,
Blue Lions, and I'm like, about 60% of my questions are still unanswered.
that's good. That's
So
a
then I
sign of a
went
good game.
back and played Golden Deer, which is fantastic also, but answered most of my questions, and I'm like, I feel less in the dark.
Yes.
Would recommend.
I will definitely complete it. I have many games I have not completed, but Three Houses
Congrats,
is
oh man.
it's on the board, which is saying a lot because I have like 500 games. It's on the
Nice.
board to complete.
Do you ever do like when I go to buy like a game or something and I like think about the amount of money I'm spending and I'm like, you know what? I could be buying heroin and then I buy it anyways. Like, do you ever do that?
Um, no, because I don't want a crippling heroin addiction, and I actually enjoy video games. I feel like it'd be the opposite. Like I would buy heroin and be like, ah, man, I could have bought like Baldur's Gate 3. Enjoyed like a bunch of hours of content. At least with games, you get to experience like a story and have a meaningful memory created as a result.
Oh God, I can't remember what I was reading, but I was reading something and somebody like shared the opinion that like video games are the like ideal way of storytelling as opposed to like TV shows and movies.
I kind of agree
And
with that.
I kind of agree with that.
I
Like
don't.
movies particularly, like you
Yeah,
get but approximately 120 minutes to like develop, unless it's a sequel, which is just a whole other realm, to like develop characters, get people invested in a plot, and then wrap up said plot. Whereas I could put in God only knows how many hours to some of these, and then continue to
that's
put in
true.
God knows how many hours and continue to find new things story.
Yeah, in terms of like content to price value, video games probably rank the highest.
Mhm.
I don't know if I would always say they're the best medium for a story, but I would say it's if you have a story idea, it's hard to go wrong in a game. There are plenty of bad stories in games, but very few that are bad explicitly
Ooh.
because they made it a video game and not like a TV series or something.
Okay, Dan.
Yes.
I need to completely
What do
flip
you
flop from.
need? I need.
I need a lot of things, mostly
I
a better
need. What do
therapist.
you need? What does SpongeBob say?
Water.
uh, Classic. Classic Bob Sponge, am I right?
Oh, there's a couple people in my cohort that had like never watched. So here's the thing with PT. It's either like there's a lot of people who are like, I don't sniff carbs and I only go to the gym as like my entire personality. And I'm like, oh,
I
okay,
don't
like good for
sniff
you.
carbs. What?
Oh,
Is that what people
man.
say?
No, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm
I
not like
generally don't.
there's anything
I
wrong with
generally
that, but
don't
they're very
smell
judgy
food.
of me eating the carbs and not spending 70 hours in the gym a week. And so, but like they didn't
Yeah,
grow up watching TV either. And like we'll make these SpongeBob references and they're like, I didn't like no.
I think we sound like boring people.
No, like they're all nice enough, but I'm just like
I didn't say they
there's
weren't
so many
nice. You
cool
said they're
people.
boring. They don't get any references. They don't watch any. They don't engage in culture. What do? They just do what? DPT and exercise.
Yes.
Yeah, it's boring.
Which I
They're
mean, good for
like
you
not
if
even.
you
They're like
do.
not even people. They're just like boxes. Just empty boxes.
Uh, but
Those are your classmates, Kristen. Empty boxes.
we're a good time. Actually, no, our
Nice.
program's a hot mess and a half.
Same. My program
I feel like
sucks.
every program everywhere though is a hot mess and a half.
I don't know. I think some are
I
good.
yeah yeah like
It's also dependent
objectively
on
number wise,
industry.
like ranking wise, we're like really good. But I think that the person that some one of the girls in my cohort is like, we're the program that like takes nice Christmas card pictures, but like the mom is secretly an alcoholic and the dad is actually like off having affairs left and right. But they make nice Christmas cards, and I'm like, you know what? Accurate.
Understandable. Understandable.
Oh, but the
Yeah.
flip flop of the best games, because I don't even know how I'd manage to get down the list. This list. What is the worst? What is some of your worst game experiences?
Like legitimately bad or like
Like
the memes.
legitimately bad, not like
Man,
legitimately bad versus so bad they're good.
that is a tough question. What is the worst experience I've ever had in a game? I would say a lot of my worst experiences come from games that are pretty good. They're usually games that are like almost great, and then they're in development or the community is like asking for one thing or another, and the devs are just like, nope, we're taking it in a different direction, and it just isn't fun. Trying to think of a game that I played and just like didn't have any fun at all. There's not many, because I usually I'm like pretty picky about like what
That
games I
night,
play.
you give up before, like, if it's
Yeah, like
truly
if
a
it's
bad
really bad,
experience,
like I just
you just
won't.
don't.
I just like not play it. I don't think I really have anything in my Steam.
Ooh, hold on, I got Jared's list.
Yeah,
To the surprise of no one, Witcher 3 is his favorite game.
that's very generic. Witcher 3 is a very good game, but um, it's got flaws. It's not a perfect game.
Is there a perfect game? Other than Mass
No,
Effect, obviously.
there are only games that are frustratingly close. And like, oh, if they just changed this one thing, it'd be perfect.
Let's see what else. Mario Odyssey, pretty solid. Tyranny, I haven't played Tyranny.
Tyranny, actually, that's a well. The first half of that game is one of the best games ever, and the second half of that game is I don't know if I'd say one of the worst games ever, but a pretty explicitly not good game.
Interesting.
I don't know if you know the plot, but the plot
I
is
know
essentially okay.
nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
It's an interesting game because it's an RPG where the villain has already won, and that's how the game opens with the conquest of like the last free kingdom on the continent. and you're like a general of the evil emperor, and you conquer it. And then the whole game is basically you like restoring order in the name of this empire and like politicking your way to the top kind of thing. You don't have to be a dick, but like you're not a great person. That is why it's called tyranny.
Read the bad guy.
It does a, I will say, for all its flaws, it does a really good job of portraying like D&D alignment evil characters who aren't like mustache twirling villains or like just really annoying and sadistic like common thieves and murderers.
Mm-hmm.
That's always the problem with evil characters in games. They're always just kind of like these kind of like lowbrow like like I've stolen the city's money, and you're just like, all right, that's fine, I guess. Tyranny's very well thought out with like characters who are driven to evil by like really strong character spines, like being really devoted to law or really focused on redemption from a past mistake or something. I'm blowing my nose.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not talking.
I am contemplating my existence.
Aren't we all?
That's you right.
Gives
Especially
me
those
big
of us who
anxiety.
have no idea what they're
That's
doing
why
with
we're
their life.
making a podcast, to not contemplate our existence.
True that, man. Just sit here and think about games and all the other shit that I just don't want to deal with.
Yeah. What would you say is your worst gaming experience?
Ooh. See, I usually just give up. Now I gotta think, what is something terrible that
That
I've
you've
been...
like played a significant portion of, and then you kind of realized, like, you know what, I'm not actually having fun with this.
Man.
I'll look through my list. It's probably a game I don't have installed.
Hmm. That's the,
I've had a lot of games that I've bought into early, like in early access, and they are still kind of promising, but they just haven't really gone anywhere. That's usually where I get most disappointed.
Oh man, okay, this is really dumb. But,
Okay.
oh man. Do I really want to admit this? I'm gonna... You know what? Fuck it.
Dating
Go for it.
simulator.
Uh, Harvest Moon game, which is almost worth... So,
Is what is Harvest Moon?
it's like
I kind
farming
of.
sim, but also you get married and like so it
So
started.
that's like what inspired Stardew Valley? Question
Yes,
mark.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Um, but long story short, Harvest Moon split from like there's a, I don't know everything about this, so I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. Basically, it split off like fairly recently into Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons. And like Story of Seasons is a little truer to like the gameplay and the style and like character development. And
Yeah.
like the first two were good. And like the one they just released, like I got it pre-ordered and I was like, oh my gosh, like we're finally getting a new one and it's not a handheld, I can actually throw it up and see things.
Very
And
nice.
it's
Very nice.
just like I keep playing and like you could tell there were parts of it that were like really rushed, just weren't developed or written well when they released it. And I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna get some updates, so let's see how. And it just didn't get even like they really did a disservice. And I just
Yeah, it's never a good time.
like the characters weren't there. And I think
I
that's the
feel
thing,
that.
like we were talking about earlier with like Andromeda. You just didn't care about the characters.
Yeah, Andromeda is kind of like the blueprint for games that are disappointing. Like, there's nothing overtly bad about it,
Yeah.
although I think a lot of people would probably say there is. There's nothing like overtly bad about it, especially now that it's all patched. But
Yeah, now that it's patched,
it's just
for
not. It's
sure.
not very engaging.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't do a lot to draw you in. People kind of make very rushed decisions. Like, the tension isn't really there, even though it kind of should be.
Yeah,
I'm looking through my game list trying to find a game that I really didn't enjoy at all.
I didn't like Andromeda was fine. Like I wouldn't say I didn't.
But like,
Did I enjoy
that's
it
the
anywhere near as
question.
much as the OGs?
That's
Absolutely not.
that's the question though. What's a worse game? A game that's so bad you just put it down after you try it out, or a game where you're like, well, I'll get through it, and then you play it for like 20, 30, 40, 50 hours, and then you're like, eh. Like, what have you wasted more time on? And like,
Room.
you know what I mean? Like, do you want a little suck over a long period of time, or just be like, nah?
Oh,
Here, maybe
Rotendo keeps
my
sending me games.
who's sending you games?
Jared,
Oh, look at my
I refer
random
to him.
games category. Ooh, this isn't a bad game. This is a good game. It's called From Dust. You should check it out.
I
It's an amazing game. From Dust is a game where you um, control the elements to a certain extent, and your goal is to change the landscape so that a village can survive and prosper. And it's very much you change the flow of water, or you get lava to flow into water so that it forms like a mountain ridge. It's very interesting. It's very creative, and it's kind of fallen by the wayside. But I think it's really just something unique. So not a bad game. Let's see, roguelikes, side scrollers. I thought Owlboy was a little disappointing, but it's an indie team working on a game for like 9 years, and I think it's gonna get burnt out, so I can't really hold that against it. RPGs. I gotta have at least one bad RPG in here.
yeah.
I thought the original Divinity, Original Sin, was not very good. I really couldn't get into it.
We still need to finish two. Or I
We do.
should probably play past the first. I don't even. We didn't we didn't get that far in
No, it's
before.
okay though. The first island is the best part of it, so it's good to take our time and experience it. The game really falls apart after that, in my humble opinion.
But yeah, that's my one of my guilty pleasures.
What?
Harvest Moon.
Ah, yes. I just unironically enjoy most games I play, I think. Or I don't play them
It's also
anymore.
the dream. Inherit a farm, move with a bunch of
Yes.
like attractive, eligible people who all fall in love with you, obviously, because you're the shit. And then, have a bunch of cows.
Yeah. Actually, one of the worst um, gaming experiences I had was there was this really kind of shitty old turn-based strategy game that was played over a internet browser called Artifact, and I introduced a bunch of people to it and tried to explain it to them, and they were just like, "This game sucks. You suck. This is awful,"
Oh.
and that just ruined my like nostalgia for that game completely.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably one of my worst gaming experiences. Also, there have been other games called Artifact, so I think it's just buried by the passage of time.
Okay, what was your favorite thing to play growing up?
One of the first kind of big boy modern game, quote unquote modern games that I played was RuneScape for a long time. I really enjoyed playing RuneScape. I really liked, I don't know, just kind of escaping from the dreary suburban Connecticut life of a elementary schooler. And then once I got my Xbox, the first game I played, I think, was Halo 2, and that absolutely blew my mind. Just like how high octane it was, and like how good the story was. And I guess I've always been a fan of sci-fi, but that was kind of like one of the first big sci-fi works I engaged with, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Um, I remember I was really scared of the flood, and I stopped playing it for a long time as a kid because I was like, it's too scary. Uh, but then I went back and beat it. And it was just so good. And the other game I got at the same time as Halo 2 was Fable, which I also thought was a really great experience, especially as a kid. Because you start off as a kid and then your whole life kind of develops in front of you. And I know a lot of people like don't like Peter Molyneux, that developer, because they always underdeliver. But the first Fable is like a really fun experience the first time around, especially like to a kid who's just getting into games for the first time.
Oh.
Those were really my first 3 gaming experiences. Before that, it was all like Serious Sam and Putt Putt goes to the moon or whatever.
What a classic.
Yeah.
Pajama Sam, there's no need to
Pajama
hide
Sam,
when
sorry,
it's
not
dark
Serious
outside.
Sam. Serious Sam's a very different game. Yeah,
I
Pajama
don't know
Sam.
what that is. Should I be concerned?
It's just like I don't even know. I didn't play it. I never played it. It's like a shooter with
Oh
some
man,
funky stuff going on.
are you ready to judge my brother and I and our like household even more than you already have?
Yes.
So
I'm
my mother was like very literal with rankings, like rankings, ratings. That's the word I meant. So like if it was rated T, we weren't allowed to play till we 13.
nice.
Um, so it was all Mario Kart and Mario Party.
Nice.
Yeah.
I remember I convinced my dad to get me GTA a little. I mean, I think I had to be 12 or 13, but I convinced my dad to get me GTA a little early. And my mom was like, "Oh my god, that's too mature for him." And I was like, "Nah, that's fine." It was like it's really like not even that bad. I was like, I like as an American child who watches television, it's like
Did you go to
pretty
public
average.
school? Because I heard tremendously worse in public school.
Yeah, exactly. I did go to public school, so I was like, "Oh my god," that's so I'm like, I mean, I'm not gonna kill cops in real life, mom. So yeah, and I think after that, obviously, as I started getting older, my parents didn't care about ratings. They didn't vet any of that stuff. It was just all me, pretty much. I definitely played too many games as a kid, though. I will say
What
that.
do you mean?
I don't know. I was just played a lot of video games as a child. Being depressed and also like not caring about everything is not a good combo for a lot of video game playing. Since you get into a habit, it's like all you do. Which I mean, now that I'm older, it's I don't do that. But like when you're a kid and you're trying to like get through, school and shit, it makes life kind of rough.
Yeah.
Nah, it was awesome. It was amazing.
It's- I, I didn't play a ton growing up as a kid, and I still ended up depressed. So.
Yeah, and I was depressed before the video games for sure.
Yeah.
Hashtag lol, right? Right? All of our listeners right now, go ahead and lol when you hear this. Joke complete.
All of our listeners, Dan, it's just us.
I'm sure Blake will listen to this out of the goodness of his heart, and maybe
Out of,
Rob.
Blake's a great friend.
Blake is a great
Props to
shout
Blake.
out. Shout out to our friend Blake, who's a great friend.
He really is. Don't deserve him. I'm cool with like nobody in my personal life knowing I talk about weird things on the internet, though.
I mean, sure. I mean, honestly, I why? That's not that bad. It's not like a scandalous thing. There's insane
It's
amounts
not
of podcasts
scandalous.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, without running some kind of sex podcast here.
Yeah. No, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
This is just a slice of life, video game, pop culture podcast. We're just taking things slow. It's called the beach episode for a reason.
True that, man. Just sit here and contemplate life and ignore all the existential crises I'm having at the same time.
Yes. Big existential crisis.
Because you know what's better than applying for residencies? Playing games.
Not doing that.
Not doing that.
Yeah, understandable. Hashtag very funny. Hashtag 10 out of 10.
Okay, now I'm looking back over my list. So Jared just sent me like 40 games. He's like, these are my favorite, and it's like 40 of them. I'm slightly overwhelmed. I have 5 right now, and I could probably make it up to 10 if I really wanted to.
Yes.
Are you ready for another truly, maybe not truly unpopular, but like semi-unpopular opinion?
Yeah. Lay it on us, man.
My highest like ranked Legend of Zelda game is Wind Waker, and it is purely
That is
for the
not
nostalgia.
that is not an unpopular opinion at all.
Like, it's so good. I was like the right age when it came. Like, hold on, now I gotta do math. I was probably about 7 or 8 when it came out, ish. So like right age for it, and then you just, oh, so good,
So
so
that
fantastic.
is one of the things I did not engage with growing up was I didn't have an N64, I didn't have a GameCube, and I didn't for most of my life have a Wii or anything. So I missed out on basically all of Nintendo's greatest hits in their time,
Oh
which is
man.
part of the reason why I got the Switch so that I could like experience the next generation of really good Japanese games.
Mhm.
And I have both through the Switch and stuff like Metal Gear Solid 5, and I've enjoyed it. Um, but I definitely would have liked to play Wind Waker as a kid. I feel like I would have definitely been able to get into it. Not that I wasn't able to get into it, but I feel like definitely would have resonated with me even more as a kid.
Mhm. But yeah,
Wind Waker is a great game, though.
for sure. Except for, you know, the part at the end where you have to go around
I have
and.
not beaten that.
Oh, never mind. I'm gonna stop talking. I
But
won't
yeah,
spoil it for you.
it's alright. It doesn't really
There's
matter.
a part towards the end, um, that gets a lot of flack, and it's probably pretty deserved. And I will leave it at that.
Understandable.
And then, oh man, are you ready? Because you need to play this game. Freaking Persona 5. Oh my god. So good.
Yes,
So
it's
good.
on the list. Hashtag on the list.
You just need to do it.
Okay. It's on Switch, right? We already discussed this.
No, it is not on
It's
Switch.
not on Switch, and it's not a
Nah,
computer.
no. You
Alright.
got a
I
PlayStation?
mean, I have a PlayStation 4 that barely
Yeah.
functions.
Ooh, that functioning part is a little bit of a hitch.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I ever get a TV, which I currently don't have,
Oh,
somewhat ironically, I suppose, then
what?
I'll get. I don't have a TV right now. I have not had a TV since my roommate Joel moved out.
No, I should have never moved
Which
out.
is fine, honestly, because
What did you?
I don't watch a whole lot of TV except for like streaming services and stuff. So I've just gone by on my laptop.
But it's college football season, Dan.
It is,
It's time
but
to be disappointed by the Miami Hurricanes once again.
exactly. You know, I don't need a TV to be disappointed by my alma mid. Wow. Let's try that again. I don't need a TV to be disappointed by my alma mater.
There you go. You got it.
Got it. Third time's the charm.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I will continue to be disappointed.
Yes.
There's a couple. Actually, there's a couple
Go
people in my
Miami.
cohort who are alums,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh my god, this." I'm like, "Here's the." I'm like, they went out of state to go to That's really judgy. Please edit this out.
Okay, we'll edit this part out.
Thank God.
They didn't even go
So,
Greek. What a bunch of I don't know. What's
first off, Greek
what
life
a
is a
bunch of
cult.
GDIs.
Guys,
Yeah,
it's
Greek
totally a cult.
life's
As a
well,
member of
it's all
Greek
Greek.
life.
It's all Greek to me, if you know what
Ah,
I
God.
mean. I mean, technically, I'm a member of Greek life too, so
True.
haha.
I think one of my favorite you in Greek life moments was when you dressed up as Slutty Mario and went to the Halloween party.
I mean, Slutty Mario is really the peak of
Slutty Mario
our
is
college
iconic.
careers.
It
Yes, yeah.
truly is
Still
iconic.
the group chat photo.
Well, yeah, rightfully so.
Dab. It's gonna be a firm dab for me. All right, that's our podcast, and thanks for listening. More episodes coming soon.